Most people think money is about budgeting, saving, or discipline. They think it's about spreadsheets, cutting lattes, being better with money. But money is actually about something much more human. Money is about protection. It protects your time, your energy, your ability to say no. Money is what lets you say, no, I don't have to stay in this job forever. No, I don't have to say yes to every request just because I'm scared of losing income. No, I won't sacrifice my health just to survive the month. And when you don't know what your money is protecting, it starts to feel heavy. It feels stressful, confusing, or even pointless. You might find yourself thinking, what's the point of all of this effort? Why does it feel like I'm behind? I'm doing all the right things, but I still feel anxious about money. This video isn't about turning you into a finance expert. It's not about fixing every detail of your budget. It's about understanding what money is actually for in your life right now. Once that's clear, everything else gets easier. Please note, this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Why money feels heavy? For a lot of people, money feels like pressure instead of support. It feels like something you're always behind on, something you're failing at, something that's constantly asking more from you. Save more, spend less, invest earlier, don't make mistakes. It can feel like no matter what you do, it isn't enough. That usually happens when money has no meaning beyond the numbers. When money is just a balance in your banking app, a credit card statement you dread opening, a paycheck that arrives and disappears almost instantly, it becomes something you can only mess up. There's no emotional connection, no purpose, no direction. And without meaning, almost anything feels overwhelming. Think about it. Working out with no goal can feel pointless. Studying with no exam or application ahead feels unfocused. Even cleaning your home with no sense of how you want to live can feel like a chore. Money is the same way. If it's just numbers, of course it feels heavy. Of course you would rather not look at it. So, if money feels like a constant weight on your shoulders, it doesn't mean you're responsible or bad with money. It probably means money doesn't have a clear job yet. Redefining money as protection. Let's change the frame. Money isn't about being rich. It isn't about luxury, status, or impressing anyone. Money is about being less trapped. Even a small amount of money can protect you. It doesn't have to be millions. It could be a small emergency buffer, 1 month of expenses, a tiny cushion that gives you just a bit more breathing room. Money can protect your sleep, so one unexpected bill doesn't keep you up at night replaying worst-case scenarios. Money can protect your choices, so you will not force into decisions out of panic, like taking the first job offer that shows up or staying somewhere that's burning you out because you can't afford to live. Money can protect your dignity, so you're not constantly apologizing, borrowing, or scrambling at the last minute just to cover the basics. Think about some practical examples. Having a small emergency fund might mean your car breaking down is an inconvenience, not a crisis. Having a bit of savings might give you the confidence to negotiate your salary instead of accepting the first number. Having a month of expenses set aside might let you take a short break between jobs instead of jumping straight from burnout to the next thing. Money doesn't magically create safety on its own. Real safety also comes from community, systems, healthcare, stable work, and support. But money can support that safety. It can give you a margin, options, and cushion. And that's a very different way to look at it. Instead of seeing money as a scorecard, you start seeing it as a tool for protection. The real reason people avoid money. A lot of people don't avoid money because they are bad with it. They avoid it because of how it feels. It feels like an endless list of shoulds. I should know more about investing. I should have started saving years ago. I should be further ahead by now. So opening your banking app doesn't feel neutral. It feels like criticism. When money is framed as judgment, it makes complete sense to pull away from it. Why would you willingly spend time with something that only makes you feel behind or ashamed? But everything shifts when money has a job. When it's clearly protecting something you care about, it becomes easier to engage with. You are not just checking your balance, you're asking, is my money doing its job of protecting my rest, my stability, my peace? That's a very different emotional experience. Instead of, I'm failing, you begin to think, okay, this is where I am. What small adjustment can I make to protect myself a bit more? Avoidance often melts when you replace judgment with purpose. New action. Name what money is for. So let's turn this into something practical. No apps, no spreadsheets, no trackers, no complicated systems. Just one question. What do I want my money to protect right now? Not forever, not for the rest of your life, not perfectly, just right now in this season. Maybe it's rest. You want your money to protect your ability to take one real day off a week, or go to the doctor without panicking about the bill. Maybe it's stability while you're in school. Maybe you want enough to cover rent so you're not constantly counting every dollar. Or enough to avoid taking on an extra job that would push you toward burnout. Maybe it's a peace of mind. You want a tiny buffer so that if your phone or car breaks, you don't spiral. Or so that a surprise expense doesn't ruin your entire month. Maybe it's being able to help your family, sending something home when they need it, and covering a small emergency without your life going off the rails. Maybe it's fewer late night worries. You want to be able to fall asleep without replaying, what if I can't pay this bill? Or what if I lose my job? You don't need a number to start. You just need a direction. If you want, pause this video for 30 seconds and actually answer that question out loud or in a note on your journal or phone. Right now, I want my money to protect blank. That's it. That's the first step. Values create direction. Once money has meaning, decisions start to feel lighter. You are no longer making financial choices in a vacuum. You don't need extreme motivation. You don't need perfect willpower. You just need alignment. If you've decided, I want my money to protect my rest, then decisions like these start to change. Do I say yes to one more overtime shift if it wrecks my health? Do I buy this thing that gives me a quick hit of relief, or do I keep a little more for my sleep and stability? If you decided, I want my money to protect stability while I'm in school, then you might take a slower path with spending. Say no to big impulse buys. Choose a cheaper option now to give your future self more breathing room. You're not just being disciplined, you're staying aligned with what matters to you. When you know what money is protecting, you don't have to fight yourself every time you make a choice. The decision becomes, does this help protect what I care about, or does it pull me away from it? And over time, money stops feeling like the enemy and starts feeling like a tool. Not the most important thing in your life, but a powerful support for the things that are important. You don't have to love money. You don't have to think about it all the time. You don't even have to become great with money in the traditional sense. But you do need to know what it's for in your life. Is it protecting your rest, your stability, your ability to say no, your family, your future options? When money has meaning, it stops feeling heavy. It stops being this vague cloud of stress in the background. Instead, it becomes a tool that protects you, a support for your values, a way to create just a little more space between you and crisis. So as you go back to your day, carry one question with you. What do I want my money to protect for me right now? You don't need all the answers yet. You just need that direction. Because once money has meaning, that's where everything starts to change. If this video helped you make sense of what money is for and give you a sense of direction in aligning yourself with money, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.